April. And this is already the process of things dying off.
Well, just the way we like it, you know?
Yes, the dying off of old abilities, the dying off of old ideas, the dying off of what is not useful, what has outlived its purpose, what will no longer bring profit, efficiency, or pleasure. Everything will fall away, die, well, disconnect.
To let go of it with a feeling of deep gratitude, and to actively support and facilitate this entire process.
Let's see. We must push with all our strength into the realm of the new. Saying goodbye, letting go doesn't work. Moving into newness. If you move into newness, you survive. If you don't, the ground beneath you is gone. Yes, that means you've fallen with all of it. So, you move into newness, and the old will remain in place. You are moving into novelty, while the old remains in place. Novelty? Well, I don't know. It's in everything you try to do, learning, interacting. By the way, everything will be novelty. The main thing is to be active, with an unconventional approach that stands out on its own. This means trusting your intuition 100%. But again, we say it works relatively with values: honesty, humanity, kindness, love, life, eco-friendliness, development.
Both men and women should embrace novelty. Are there specific areas where there is a division or not?
All areas will change. Everything will become obsolete everywhere. Even the principles of cooking will change, yes. Communication, sex, interactions, conversations, doing business, communications within the company. Well, everything's going to change. That's how it's going to change. August is, like
April. In
August.
August, we still have
Oh
that one
man,
as well.
what's going on? That's a whole other story. He's
But
pushing in, yeah. April is for killing the old. You just need to stop using it. To not match with it, you just need to move towards innovation and act creatively. It will automatically come creatively. The main thing is not to just take and do things rigidly, as always, but to listen to your body, listen to your emotions, listen to your intuition, listen to your desires. Be unknown, be new. Try to challenge yourself with an unconventional approach. That's it. Something like that. It will naturally go if we relax internally. The important thing is that everything will happen differently, not like in April 2025. Here, you don't need to give up anything. Just move into the new, and the old will go away by itself. But if you don't move forward and just follow a strict pattern, it will feel like torture when you try to do things the old way. It will twist you up inside, as if your hands won't obey, your legs won't move, it just won't happen. Relax. Just do it as it comes naturally. That's all. And just like that, the old way is gone. Therefore, there is more intuition involved, and more of an attempt to try things you've never done before. This applies to both men and women. Once again, the forecast is the same. That's just how it is.
Well, I think it's still largely due to us becoming more self-sufficient. You mentioned that.
Listen, let's put it this way. You love the part of yourself that resides within me. And I, in turn, love the entire essence of you, because the more I embrace and cherish that whole matrix within you, the greater your access and opportunity become to possess all those essential qualities that you might need from other women. And that's the entire point. And despite all that, you love and you accept every single woman. And then it becomes so much simpler for you to truly love me, where you yourself are found deep inside my very being. That's exactly how it all works out. And how I gather and process information, based on the principle of interaction with everyone who listens to me and who agrees with my perspective. We utilize their resources, and they, in turn, utilize mine, but I am still here. The prompt that processes and extracts all unnecessary things. And due to this, they have access and opportunities to move into the new. But we are limited by this single system of a multitude of people who are there with me, in unison, listening to me, reading me, trying to act that way, and agreeing with me. That's how it is. And for women, the situation is pretty much the same, but for them, it's always been like this on the level. They are united. But there are nuances. The more we accept and agree that women are the way they are, and are happy for them, we speak on behalf of women, Yes. The greater and more refined the abilities, the knowledge, the skills, the potential that a particular woman gains from other women who already possess all these valuable qualities. The thing with men is this, you see? They are bound to their own civilization, and they can only interact within the limits of that civilization. And there might be just a couple or three others like them, but they can only manage to do it a little. With women, as I mentioned, they can have access to 1,000 different civilizations. That's not true. They also have access to 1 to 2 or 3. But they can easily, let's say, share and use those energies that can connect with these civilizations if they accept other women. Therefore, women have a wide range of interactions with men because they share. But a man, he's too engrossed in his own agenda. He is tied to the one with whom he, you see, entered into a contract for this very life. That's it.
It's important to remember the entire 26th year, or especially
Yes.
in April.
Why am I bringing this up? What I mean is, if a woman, she, truly loves and accepts herself, and her self-love is reflected in how little judgment or criticism she holds for other women who might be doing things incorrectly, because deep down, she intuitively understands that they are doing the very best they can. There is correctness, and this problem, women have double standards. She would do it herself, but she believes it's wrong because someone somewhere told her so, and therefore she condemns them, thereby condemning herself and blocking her own wholeness, development, sexuality, femininity, youth, beauty, and everything else. Well, this is truly the most significant problem with the Matrix. It's when people derive their entire concept of what is right from logic alone, and then, based on that, they begin to compete with one another. And always remember this. When you find yourself having claims or grievances directed at a man, you are, in actual fact, voicing your dissatisfaction with your own internal state, which is, you see, reflected within him. Because a man, you see, is essentially a vessel for the soul, and the soul itself is feminine. That's all there is to it. And yes, we find someone similar, but our complaints about them are complaints about ourselves. Well, we generally complain about what we dislike in ourselves, but we have an inertia to project our flaws onto others. And of course, we dislike our own flaws when we see them in others, but we need to change those flaws within ourselves for the better, in a constructive way. And in the month of April, it will be clearly visible that instead of judgment and complaints, we are moving towards exploring different approaches. Without any complaints, guys, I always used to fix things like this, but now we will fix them differently. I always used to drive like this, but now we will drive differently. So, everything is new so that this inertia of patterns, this used to be accepted like this. Now, the heck with it. By the way, I recently watched Adding to This, yes, a podcast. And they say, we have polygamous people, then monogamous people, there. Let's take statistics, just statistics by country. And it turns out, according to global statistics, yes, only 15%, officially. Guys, 15% of the world's population is monogamous.
Well, it's like that's just the way couples live their lives.
And 85 of them, yes, they are polygamous. And out of those, 4, they have many husbands and just one wife. Well, that's how it is, yes. Only 4% of the world on planet Earth where polyandry is practiced, yes. And for all the others, you see, it's polygamy.
But all the others, in my opinion, have numerous wives. Just one husband.
Well, so, yes, one husband. And basically, for genetics to spread across planet Earth through these women in large numbers, the potential, of one civilization or another. And at the moment, the civilization says, we remove these 15 and 4, so it turns out 80%. That's polygamy, yes. And whether we want it or not, it exists, and it manifests itself. For example, when we observe the sheer number of betrayals that occur. All these things are triggered by the official energy field that exists on planet Earth. And yes, there are certain religions out there that say it must be this way, and only this way. And why is that? Well, because it's simply easier to manage and organize people to fit them into rigid frameworks and templates. And yet, at the same time, our system immediately tells us, no, this is incorrect. Let's make it within the framework of templates. And in doing so, we begin to compete with ourselves. Why is that? because our thought forms often supplement what we are unable to accomplish in the physical realm. And if we don't judge ourselves or others for thoughts, then we sort of equalize this potential, and we can calmly be in monogamy and feel perfectly fine. And, as psychologists say, we can arrange role-playing games for ourselves, or, share fantasies. And thanks to this, from the energy field of those 81%, we can take the energies that are necessary and feel at ease and live happily ever after and truly enjoy ourselves.
I think this is an April recommendation too.
This is me in the sense that, guys, I deliberately made the remark that we are so used to thinking in patterns. You know what often grates on my ears when I hear people talk about betrayal or say he abused her? But isn't it interesting that she experienced 10 orgasms precisely at the very moment he was supposedly abusing her? Well, these very specific moments of conflict, when stereotypes just slap on these labels, right? And it creates the impression as if something truly awful has occurred. And then someone starts producing this nonsense, multiplying it, turning it into a false trend. And then, why are there so many autistic people around? Because he looked at me for more than 5 seconds, and that means he was harassing me. And that means, let's condemn him, strip him of all his money, deport him, and put him in prison. Or even better, we'll put him in the electric chair because I want him so badly. But he, the scoundrel, doesn't want me. That's all there is to it. And these double standards in April, they must be gotten rid of. Well, to see where you act or you are acting, I act passively. And this happens because of correctness. I can give an example. I have a friend who came from the countryside, and back in his village, they used to drink tea from a saucer, and they would slurp it like that. It's actually quite normal. He drinks from a saucer, while I drink from a cup. And then one acquaintance of mine says, when we were having a tea party together, she says, "Why are you drinking so rudely?" It's really not nice to drink from a saucer like that, and so loudly. And there are splashes flying around too. Well, I'm stuck now. I can't watch him drink from that saucer anymore. I was okay with it, but then I was given some rule. I justified it within myself. I say, listen, stop doing silly things. Drink like I do, burning your tongue from the cup. Like these imposed templates.
To some extent, it's development.
Let's put it this way.
A limitation always involves some development.
Important moment. How that girl spoke with a grievance, with dissatisfaction, with irritation, and that got ingrained in me. And since, well, by my rules, I already drink from a cup anyway, this got layered on, and now I have the same hatred, grievances, and condemnation for him as she had when she was inflicting it, and when, let's say, well, I'm deliberately projecting this here, this is all still going into our April month's piggy bank, right? When I talk to Europeans, they say, having expensive cars is bad. Having a lot of money is bad. Going to expensive schools is bad. You have to save. And they already hate everyone who drives expensive cars. They already hate everyone who earns more money. They hate everyone who graduated from university and has a higher education. And these people are ashamed to have a higher education, a good job, a good salary, a good car. They hide it. They drive some old beat-up car, but then sometimes they take out their good car. This is precisely the moment when the rigid patterns of April, if we don't uphold them or acknowledge them to everyone, will destroy those very people who are imposing false values. Everyone should want to live better, have a beautiful body, be healthy, have nice clothes, have a good car, and have a wonderful husband or wife, not marry an ugly person, a cripple, or an idiot. You understand, this is a direct recommendation, right? Drive a modest car, go to a regular school, study. Well, just like everyone else, be ashamed of your own intellect or education. That's all. And what does this lead to? A huge number of vampires who sit around, do not work, and even receive social benefits. They say, why would I go if my balance is negative, if I earn 3 times less than when I receive assistance? Why am I saying this now? This will come to the surface, and those who are implementing it will face serious consequences if they do not repent in the month of April. and you will see how many people will suddenly develop illnesses, almost between life and death. In the month of April, those who produced and promoted it. Well, it's like our child goes to an international school, and a local mom says that the neighbors say, "How come? How are you attending a paid one? There's a free one. Are you out of your mind?" Our government says everyone should attend these regular schools. That's it. This woman, she clearly has a high level in the month of April. If she doesn't change her worldview, it will affect her health, and she won't understand why she's feeling so bad.
And we will wish her much interest in January.
You know, the reason is the reluctance to take responsibility and honestly admit what I want. All of us, if we are normal people, do not want to live in a cave like ascetics, cut our hair like monks, and retreat into asceticism, only to get 99% of prostate cancer and die from all this. So, you understand what I mean, don't you? Our main objective this April is to disassociate ourselves from them, moving forward into newness, and not to fall for any provocations, like someone slurping their tea from a saucer. That's it. Yes.
That's fantastic. We could really sit down and smoke the peace pipe with him over a friendly cup of tea.